I found about 10 seconds away from calling an Uber and getting the hell out of there. And then I heard a creak upstairs. My stomach dropped. I thought you said no one was home. I whispered, asterisk, asterisk. She smiled, like she was excited. Let's hide, she said, grabbing my hand and pulling me into a closet. What do you mean, let's hide? The worst 5 minutes of my life. We were crammed in a closet, barely breathing. I heard footsteps, then a voice. Hello, F asterisk CK. Someone was home. And my girlfriend? She was trying not to laugh. Laugh, like this was fun for her. I was already accepting my fate when the front door suddenly opened again. A woman's voice. Babe, you home? Silence. Then footsteps going back upstairs. My girlfriend took my hand, grinned, and whispered, now's our chance. She slipped out of the closet like AF asterisk King Ninja and motioned for me to follow. I did not hesitate. We booked it out the front door and sprinted to the car. I barely got in before she peeled out of the driveway, laughing her ass off. That was amazing, she yelled. I wanted to throw up. I did not sleep that night. The next morning, I confronted her. What the F asterisk CK was at. She looked so casual. It's just a thing I do sometimes. It's exciting. Exciting. I asked how many times she had done this. She shrugged. Enough to know which locks are the easiest. And that was when I realized I was dating a complete psycho. I got the hell out. I broke up with her immediately. She was weirdly chill about it. I get it, she said. You're not built for this. Built for what? A few weeks later, she texted me. No hard feelings. If you ever want to feel alive, you know where to find me. I blocked her number. But sometimes, I come home late at night, and I swear, for a second, I see a shadow standing by my door. And I wonder if she ever let herself back in. If she says she has a weird kink, ask for details. I got a job at a high-end spa. Turns out, it was a brothel. Look, I was just trying to pay rent. I wasn't looking for anything sketchy, just a normal, decent-paying job. So when I found a listing for a luxury spa assistant offering $40 an hour, I jumped on it. No experience needed. Flexible hours. Cash bonuses. Seemed too good to be true. And, well, it was because on my first day, I found out this wasn't a spa. It was a full-blown, high-end, secret VIP brothel. And I had just signed up to work there. The interview was way too easy. No background check. No paperwork. The manager, Madame Elise, just smiled at me and said, "As long as you know how to be discreet, you'll fit right in." I figured she just meant rich people didn't want their business talked about. Turns out, she meant the government officials, celebrities, and married billionaires who showed up looking for more than just a massage. The spa services were unusual. Day one, I was excited. The place was gorgeous. Crystal chandeliers, silk robes, complimentary champagne for clients. I was expecting to fold towels, book appointments, maybe clean treatment rooms. Instead, I got handed a menu. It had 2 sections: massage and relaxation. Swedish massage, facials, sauna access. Normal stuff. Private encounters. No descriptions. Just a list of names with prices starting at $2,000. I asked my coworker, "What's the second section?" She just winked. That's for the VIPs. The secret VIP rooms. I was told to never go past the members only hallway unless I was specifically asked. Obviously, that made me want to go even more. So during my break, I accidentally wandered back there. The doors weren't labeled with numbers, just names. The Scarlet Room, the Velvet Lounge, Madame's Suite. I pressed my ear to one of the doors, and I heard sounds, not massage sounds, unless moaning, gasping, and a man groaning. "OF*CK, you're so bad. Our part aromatherapy now." I noped the F*, CK out immediately. The client list was insane. That night, I checked the appointment log. Names were blurred out, but the initials? Recognizable. I saw A-list actors, famous athletes, even a freaking senator. One guy paid $50,000 for a special weekend package. I finally asked my coworker, "So, are we actually a brothel?" She laughed. "Sweetie, we're a luxury wellness retreat." Uh-huh, my job got weirder. Technically, I wasn't hired to do that. If a wife called, I had to say her husband was in a business meeting. If someone showed up drunk, I had to make sure no cameras caught them. If a client had a medical emergency, which happened a lot with the older guys, I had called a discreet doctor on payroll. I was basically a fixer for rich men trying to cheat in peace. And the worst part? The money was really F*, king good. The night that made me quit. One night, a very famous married actor came in. I won't say his name, but let's just say he's known for playing tough guys in movies. He booked a session with one of the top girls, Crystal. An hour later, she came running out of the room, shaking. Her dress was ripped. There were bruises on her arms. She was crying. And this dude? He just walked out smiling, threw a wad of cash at Madame Elise, and left like nothing happened. "I want to call the cops." Crystal just shook her head. "It's part of the job," she whispered. "Don't make trouble." That's when I knew I had to get the F*, CK out. I quit the next morning. No 2 weeks notice. No goodbye party. Just dipped. Madame Elise didn't even seem surprised. She just smiled. "They all leave eventually," she said. "But remember, darling, discretion is everything." And I knew exactly what she meant. The aftermath. I never told anyone where I worked. A week later, I got an envelope with $5,000 in cash and a note. "For your silence. The spa is still running. Still booking clients. Still discreet." And sometimes, I check the news, waiting for the day someone finally exposes it. I know they never will. If the job sounds too good to be true, it probably involves illegal *T. I have schizophrenia, but I think my hallucinations are real. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia 2 years ago. Delusions, hallucinations, paranoia, the whole deal. I know my brain plays tricks on me. I know the things I see aren't real. But recently, I've started noticing something that I can't explain. Because my hallucinations, they know things I don't. I've had the usual symptoms for years. Whispers when I'm alone, flickers of movement in my peripheral vision. I've learned to ignore it. But a few months ago, something changed. I was sitting in my apartment when I saw her, a woman in a red dress, standing in the corner. She wasn't doing anything, just watching me. I blinked. She was still there. I closed my eyes, counted to 10. She was still there. That's not how my hallucinations work. They usually glitch when I focus too hard. But she just stood there, waiting. I ignored her for days. She never spoke, never moved, until one night when she finally whispered something. Check your mailbox. I froze. Hallucinations don't give me tasks. They just exist. I told myself I wouldn't listen. But at 3 a.m., I found myself standing in the lobby, shaking, opening my mailbox. Inside was a letter from my landlord, an eviction notice. I had forgotten to pay rent. She knew before I did. After that, things got worse. I started seeing him, a man with no face, just smooth skin where his features should be. Every time I looked in a mirror, he was standing behind me. At first, I told myself it was just a schizophrenia. But then, one day, I covered every mirror in my apartment. And that night, at exactly 3 a.m., I heard a voice behind me whisper, "You can't hide forever." I told my psychiatrist everything. She listened, nodding, writing things down. Then she asked, "Do your hallucinations ever tell you things you couldn't possibly know?" I hesitated. "Yes." She looked at me, serious. Then she whispered, "Mine do too." And for the first time, I started wondering if this was really just schizophrenia, or if I was seeing something I wasn't supposed to.
I sold myself for drugs, and didn't realize it until it was too late. I thought it was just a favor, a simple, harmless trade, a night out, some fun. But when I woke up the next morning, I realized I wasn't mine anymore. Started with a guy named Vic. He was charming, generous, always had the best stuff. And most importantly, he never made me pay for anything. "You don't have to worry about cash," he'd say. "You're good." And at first I believed him. Because when you're high, when you're flying, when the world is soft and buzzing, you don't stop to think. One night we were at his place. I was already 3 lines deep, floating. Then he leaned in too close and said, "You owe me, baby." Laughed dizzy. "For what?" He smiled. "For all this." Then he grabbed my chin. And that's when I realized this was never free. Turns out drugs aren't just drugs. They're a currency. And when you don't have cash, you pay with yourself. That night, Vic didn't even ask. I was screwed. Kept my mouth shut. I did what I always did. Asterisk asterisk pushed it down. Asterisk asterisk. Stayed in my lane. Dated a guy. Let everyone believe I was normal. But Sasha, she made it impossible to ignore. She'd touch my arm when she laughed. Lean in too close when she talked. Whisper stupid secrets in my ear just because she knew it made me blush. Did she know? Could she tell that every time she looked at me like that, I wanted to kiss her? Or was she just playing with me? One night we were drunk at a party. Sasha was dancing, hair a mess, eyes full of trouble. And then, asterisk asterisk, she grabbed my hand. Asterisk asterisk. Pulled me onto the dance floor. Pressed her body against mine. I swear to God I forgot how to breathe. Then she leaned in and whispered, "Do you want me?" And in that second, I forgot about everything. About my fake boyfriend. About my family. About the fear. And I kissed her. The next morning I woke up to 100 missed calls. People knew. Someone saw us. Someone talked. By noon, I wasn't just the girl who kissed Sasha. I was the lesbian. And suddenly, hiding wasn't an option anymore. I wish I could say Sasha and I ran away together. That we fell in love. That it all worked out. But that's not what happened. Because for Sasha, that kiss was just a game. For me, it was the beginning of something I couldn't take back. My math teacher keeps hitting on me. And I don't know what to do. First I thought I was imagining it. A weird look here. A lingering touch there. A compliment that felt too personal. But now, I know for sure. My math teacher is hitting on me. And I have no idea what the hell to do about it. Started small. You're really smart. Smarter than the rest of them. You have such a mature way of thinking. I bet guys your age don't appreciate you properly. First I thought he was just being nice. Teachers encourage students all the time, right? But then, the way he looked at me started to change. And I realized, asterisk asterisk, this wasn't just nice. The first time he touched me, it was an accident. Or at least, that's what I told myself. We were going over a test, and he leaned in too close. His hand brushed my arm, then stayed there. Froze. He didn't move it. Just kept talking like it was normal. Like this was fine. But it wasn't. And from that day on, it started happening more. He started offering to tutor me. You have potential. I could help you get ahead. I didn't need help. My grades were fine. But he was persistent. So one afternoon I stayed after school. And that's when I realized I wasn't the only one. I saw it when I grabbed my bag. A notebook on his desk, half open. Had names. Girls' names. Mine was the last one written down. And next to it, date. Tomorrow. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't want to know. I made up an excuse and left as fast as I could. But as I was walking out the door, he said something that made my skin crawl. See you tomorrow. Like it was already decided. Like I didn't have a choice. I can't prove anything. Just looks. Just touches. Just words that no one else hears. If I say something, what if no one believes me? But if I don't know what happens tomorrow.
I accidentally sold a kidney instead of a couch on Craigslist. I just want to sell a damn couch. That's it. I wasn't trying to commit a crime. I wasn't trying to be part of the black market. I was just trying to get rid of some furniture and make a little cash. But somehow, I ended up waking up in a motel bathtub, missing a kidney. Let me explain. So, a few weeks ago, I decided to sell my couch. It was old, stained, and had this mysterious smell that never fully went away, no matter how many times I cleaned it. But it was still functional, and I figured someone desperate enough would take it. I put it up on Craigslist with a super simple ad. Old couch, kinda ugly but comfy, $50. U-Haul. Within an hour, I got a response. Interested. Can pick up tonight. Cash. Perfect. Easy money. Or so I thought. The buyer, who was way too enthusiastic. The guy showed up crazy fast. Like, faster than normal human travel speed. He was wearing sunglasses at night, and didn't say much. Just handed me an envelope, shook my hand a little too hard, and loaded the couch into a huge, unmarked van. Weird, but whatever. I went inside, counted the cash, and saw that he gave me way more than $50. Like $5,000. That's when I knew something was wrong. The text that made me panic. My phone buzzed. It was him. Thanks for the package. Surgery is scheduled for tomorrow. Surgery? What? He replied, don't worry. We have everything we need. Appreciate you making it so easy. At this point, I was freaking out. I had no idea what was happening, but something in my gut told me this wasn't about the couch. Then I blacked out. Next thing I remember, I was waking up in a bathtub full of ice in some SH*TTY motel with a huge-ass bandage on my side and a note taped to my chest. It said, drink water, get some rest, thanks to the kidney. I screamed. I went to the hospital. Confirmed. 1 kidney missing. The cops? Useless. Apparently. I willingly accepted payment. The Craigslist buyer? Vanished. And the worst part? They still took the couch. So now I'm down a kidney and a couch. Moral, read the fine print. And maybe don't sell stuff on Craigslist.